So welcome. As I mentioned, so today will be a little bit more of a vinyasa, power vinyasa practice. I'm gonna have you start actually in a comfortable seat. So that could be either the way I just was, up on your knees, or seated cross-legged. If you're cross-legged, place the hands behind you, switch the cross that you normally would take. Bring the hands to the knees, spine nice and long, ground down through the sit bones, close the eyes. Just take these first few moments of your practice just to check in with what's happening with your body. How are you feeling? Check your breath. Is it rushed? Is it slowed down? Is it deep? Is it shallow? Just take note. And then notice your mind. Right? What are the thoughts racing through the head? I'm going to take these last few moments here just to acknowledge that there's always going to be thoughts going through the mind. And this practice is meant to be, this one in particular, more of a moving meditation, right? To clear the mind, still focused on the breathing, but also alignment and a sustainable practice. So ground down through your seat as you lift the crown of the head to the sky, shoulders back. And then once more, bring your awareness to the breath. Take a big inhale through the nose, fill up the lungs. And then open the mouth, let it go. Let's do that one more time. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. This time, inhale through the nose. And as you exhale, I want you to exhale through the nose. Fully exhaling and fully inhaling, nice and slow, no rush. Keep the breath full. Try not to hold the breath in or out as you do so. And as you're fully inhaling and exhaling, I want you to keep a fraction of your attention focused on your breath. And you're going to keep that attention on your breathing throughout the remainder of this practice, right? That's where the meditation comes in. That's where the benefit comes in. That's where the Zen comes in. It's this breathing practice that you can actually take off the mat as well, whether it be at your desk, or during a run, or during stressful situations. This practice of keeping your attention focused on your breathing, fully inhaling and exhaling, allows you to override your stress response, keep you grounded and centered and focused. Be here for 5 more rounds of breath. More rounds of breath here. One more round of breath. So stay with this breathing pattern, with this attention-focused breathing. Blink open the eyes. And on your inhale, we're just going to come to a tabletop, right? So come to the short edge of the mat on your hands and knees. Full inhale and exhale. On your next inhale, we're going to come to cow. Awaken the spine. So on your inhale, you're going to tilt the pelvis forward, drop the belly, look up. And as you exhale, bring the spine to the ceiling, push the mat away, gaze to the navel. Inhale, drop the belly, look up, shoulder blades touch. Exhale to cat, shoulder blades spread, gaze to the navel. Take 2 more, moving with the breath. Nice and slow. One more round. Inhale, come back to neutral. You're going to exhale here. I'm going to crawl the hands about 1.5 hands length forward, tuck the toes under. On your next exhale, come to downward facing dog. So tuck the toes under, lift the knees, straighten the legs, drop the head. So feel free to keep the knees deeply bent here. And as you do so, you're going to straighten one leg as you deeply bend the other. And then switch legs. At the beginning of our practice here, we want to take a few moments just to feel how the body is this morning, or wherever you are. Might be a little tightness here and there, right? Just breathe into that tightness. Take one more round of breath here. Bicycle out the legs. And then both legs to as straight as it feels good for you in the back of the body. So feel free to keep them bent. On your inhale, I want you to come forward to a high plank or a high push-up. Core is active. And on your exhale, downward facing dog again. Drop the head. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. On your inhale, come forward to high plank and hold. You're going to exhale here. Take one more inhale. On your exhale, you're going to drop the knees to the mat, bend the elbows, chest and chin come to the floor. Point your toes, activate the thighs, so you're lifting your kneecaps. And on your inhale, you're going to come to a low cobra. So shift the shoulders and heart up off the mat, but keep the back of the neck long. Thighs are active. On your exhale, lower down. One more time, engaging the spine, but maybe less pushing in the hands. So inhale, bring the shoulders and heart away from the mat, maybe even lift the hands, and then exhale, lower down. Thighs are still strong here. One more time. Inhale, heart away from the mat. Exhale all the way down. On your inhale, make your way to downward facing dog. Feel free to come through with knees or on the mat, and then downward facing dog. Take an inhale. Take an exhale. On your inhale, look between the hands and bend the knees. And as you exhale, just step to the top of the mat. So your feet are at hips width distance apart. Keep the knees well bent. Back of the neck is long, so the head is hanging. And then grab opposite elbows. A couple rounds of breath here. Feel free to sway left to right if that feels good. Take one more round of breath here. Release the grip of the elbows, let the hands hang. On your inhale, just come up halfway to a flat spine. And then exhale, fold. Knees can be bent here. Hands to the hips. And on your inhale, come all the way up to stand. One vertebrae at a time. Nice and slow. Crown of the head comes up last. And as you exhale, hands by your side. Bring the ankles together. Mountain pose. Shoulders down the back. spine nice and long, crown of the head towards the sky, tuck the tailbone under just a little bit. And we're gonna do some sun salutations to begin. Great way to warm up in any yoga practice, or just, you could actually use this portion of the practice as your daily practice to create the habit of practicing yoga daily. On your inhale, sweep the arms up to the sky. As you look up, hands touch. And as you exhale, hands to the mat as you fold forward. Drop the head. You're going to inhale up halfway to a flat spine. On your exhale, fold. And on your inhale, sweep all the way up to stand. Reach up, look up, hands touch. And exhale, hands to your heart. Okay, so if you haven't already, I'm going to have you step to the top of the mat so that you're at the short edge of the mat versus the long edge of the mat, right? And let's do the full sun salutation A. So that was a half sun salutation there. Thighs are strong, shoulders down the back. Inhale, sweep the arms up, look up, hands touch. Exhale, hinge at the hips as you fold forward. Drop the head. Inhale up halfway, flat spine. Exhale, plant the hands, bend the knees, step back to high plank. Take the inhale here. And then on your exhale, knees, chest, chin to the mat, bend the elbows, come all the way down. Point the toes, activate the thighs. Inhale, low cobra once more. Back of the neck is long. And then exhale, lower down. On your inhale, come to tabletop, tuck the toes under, and then exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe here. Spread the fingers nice and wide. Push the mat away with the hands. Activate the thighs. Full rounds of breath. So that was version 1 of what's called the vinyasa. Right? Knees, chest, chin to the mat, and then low cobra. Coming through to tabletop, back to down dog, right? Kind of the beginner's level, if you will. On your next inhale, look forward, bend the knees. And as you exhale, just step to the top of the mat. Big toes touch, legs are straight. Inhale up halfway, flat spine. Core is active. As you exhale, keep that as you fold. Inhale, come all the way up to stand. Reach up, look up, hands touch. And exhale, hands to the heart. So here's a number 2, version 2. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale up halfway. Exhale to plank. So plant the hands, bend the knees, step back to plank. Take the inhale. Thighs active, core strong. On your exhale, just come down halfway to a low plank. Point the toes, activate the thighs, and on your inhale, you're going to straighten out the arms as you come into a back bend here, upward facing dog. Thighs are off the mat, hips are off the mat. Exhale, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Breathe here. Thighs are still active, lifting the hips to the sky, drop the head. Full inhale and exhale here. Thoughts are focused on the breath. Relax the jaw. Back of the neck is long. Take one more round of breath here. On your next inhale, look between the hands and bend the knees. And as you exhale, step or hop to the top of the mat. Inhale up halfway to a flat spine. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, root down to rise up. So sweep the arms up, look up, hands touch. And exhale, hands to the heart. So number 3 here, we're going to do the same thing, but we're not going to hold the breath, or I should say hold the pose for the breath. So on your inhale, sweep the arms up. And on your exhale, fold forward. Inhale up halfway. Now here's the difference. On your exhale, plant the hands, bend the knees, and step back to high plank. Keep exhaling, come all the way down, either high plank to low plank or knees, chest, chin. Point the toes, inhale to upward facing dog, and then exhale to downward facing dog. So that's one breath per movement there. Full inhale and exhale here. Drop the head, shoulders down the spine, I should say down the back. Relax the face, activate the thighs. Take one more round of breath here. On your next inhale, look between the hands, bend the knees. And as you exhale, step or hop forward to the top of the mat. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold. On your inhale, sweep the arms up, look up, hands touch, come to stand. And as you exhale, hands to the heart. So we're gonna do 2 more of those, where I'm gonna have you work that same vinyasa, that same sequence, without me walking through it. So feel free to watch the video or just listen to your breath. All right, we'll kick it off with the inhale, sweep the arms up. Downward facing dog for 5 rounds of breath. Inhale, look between the hands, bend the knees, and exhale, step to the top of the mat. Final sun salutation A. Take a round of breath here. Give you a moment here to meet me back to stand at the top of the mat. And we'll kick off sun salutation B. So big toes touch. On your inhale, you're going to bend the knees, sit down into your chair as you sweep the arms up to the sky over the head. Tuck the tailbone under so you're tilting your pelvis backward. And breathe here for a round of breath. Weight is in the heels, not the toes. The eyes are squeezing together, shoulders are relaxed down the back. Take an inhale. As you exhale, you're going to straighten the legs and fold forward. Inhale up halfway, take your time. And exhale, step back to high plank or jump back to low plank. Come all the way down. Point the toes. Inhale, upward facing dog. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Take the inhale here. As you exhale, step the right foot between the hands. As you drop the left heel to the mat, turn the left toes out. The outer edge of the left foot is grounded. On the inhale, right knee is bent, come on up. Shoulders up over the hips. Warrior one. Arms up over the shoulders. Reach for the sky, but drop the shoulders, bend the front knee. Take one more inhale. On your exhale, hands to the mat, lift the back heel, step back to plank. Take the inhale. On your exhale, either knees, chest, chin, or high plank to low plank. Point the toes, inhale, upward facing dog or low cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take the inhale here. On your exhale, left foot steps between the hands, closer to the left thumb here. Drop the right heel to the mat. Right leg is straight, right toes point out, 45-degree angle. Bend the left knee, left knee. Inhale, arms up. Breathe here. Back leg is super strong. Back foot is grounded. Take the inhale. On your exhale, hands to the mat. Lift the back heel, step back to plank. Take the inhale, and then exhale, either knees, chest, chin, or high plank to low plank. Point the toes, thighs are strong. Inhale, upward facing dog for the back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe. Full inhale and exhale through the nose. Keep a portion of your attention on your breathing. If you need to take a break, child's pose is always available. Take one more round of breath here. On your inhale, look between the hands and bend the knees. And as you exhale, step or hop to the top of the mat. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold. On your inhale, bend the knees, weight is in the heels, sweep the arms up as you sink into the hips, chair pose. Take the exhale here, activate the core. Take one more inhale, and then exhale, straighten out the legs, hands to the heart, back to center. So we're gonna do that one more time. Let me just adjust my mat here, or else I'm gonna be inhaling halfway into the wall. Big toes touch. Inhale to chair. Exhale to fold. Swan dive, straighten out the legs. Inhale up halfway. Exhale to high plank stepping or jump back to low plank. On your exhale, come all the way down. Point the toes. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, down dog. Keep exhaling. Step the right foot between the hands. Drop the back heel, turn the toes out. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, hands to the mat. Lift the back heel, step back to plank. Keep exhaling. High push up to low push up. Point the toes. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, down dog. Keep exhaling. Step the left foot between the hand. Back heel goes down. On your inhale, arms up. Take your time. Warrior one. Exhale, hands to the mat. Lift the back heel. Step back to plank. Keep exhaling. High push up to low push up. Point the toes. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe here. Relax the jaw, smooth out the breath. Push the mat away with the hands, activate the thighs. Inhale, look between the hands and bend the knees. On your exhale, step to the top of the mat. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale to chair. Take your time. Bend the knees. Sweep the arms up. Just exhale here for a moment. Inhale, come to stand. Reach the arms up, look up, hands touch. Exhale, hands to the heart. Mountain pose. palms face forward. Activate the thighs. Activate the arms. Gaze down the nose. Back of the neck is long. Couple rounds of breath. So feel the heat you've created. Notice the breath. Is it a little bit more ragged? Right, because the heartbeat is intensified after that last round. Well, what you've just done could constitute your entire yoga practice for a morning. There's no need to go an hour and a half every single day. 15 minutes is all you need. One more round of breath here. So hands to the hips just for a moment. I want you to step the feet hips width distance apart. Take the inhale, and on your exhale, hinge at the hips. I want you to take the peace fingers on both hands, right? Grab the big toes, and I want you to push down onto your peace fingers with your toes. Really ground down. Straighten out the legs, activate the thighs. Inhale, halfway up. And then exhale, as you fold forward and drop the head, I want you to pull up on the toes. So the peace fingers and the toes are kind of pushing and pulling against each other. And you're gonna bend the elbows outward. Shoulders are down the back, so they're not reaching toward the ears. Spine is long, and breathe. Gaze to the navel. Another great pose to take before bed, or if you're in a super stressful situation and you need to take 5 rounds of breath, this is a great pose to take. Take one more round of breath here. Now, you can either go deeper by inhaling up halfway, activating the thighs and then folding, or if you want to take it the extra mile, you can place the hands under the feet and then do the same thing. Drop the head on the exhale. Pull the lower belly in and up to protect the spine and the lower back. Drop the head, 5 rounds of breath. If you chose to still grip on the big toes, that's cool. See if you can keep the spine a little longer to go deeper but with better alignment. If your hands are under your feet, your toes are pushing into the wrists. Take one more round of breath. Hands are under the feet, just release. Release the big toes. Inhale up halfway, thighs are active. And on your exhale, plant the hands, bend the knees, step back to plank. Take the inhale. And the choice is yours here. You can exhale, knees, chest, chin, or high plank to low plank, or just skip all that and just shift the hips up and back to downward facing dog. Choice is yours. All right, we're gonna do some standing poses here. So on your inhale, lift the right heel to the sky, but keep the right hip locked in place. As you exhale, you're gonna look between the hands, step the right foot between the hands, drop the back heel. Keep the right knee bent. Inhale, warrior one once more. Arms come up over the head. Shift the right hip back and the left hip forward to square the hips toward the front of the mat. You can keep the arms up over your head here, or if you want a little bit of a shoulder and heart opener, you can clasp the hands behind the back. Breathe here. Back leg is still super strong. Take 3 more rounds of breath. And as a heads up, we're gonna move into a twist here. Okay, so you have a choice to make this deep, which if you were to do so, you'd keep the back foot grounded the way it is. Otherwise, if you want something a little bit, that gives you a little bit more accessibility into the twist, you're gonna lift the back heel up off the mat. I'll show you how to do it. So from here, bring the hands to the heart, prayer hands. If you want to, if you don't want to go as deep, or maybe you don't have the mobility in the hips yet, all you're going to do is lift the back heel up off the mat. You'll be on the ball of the left foot. So take an inhale, you're going to lift the spine, keep it long. On the exhale, you're going to twist to the right and connect the outside edge of the left elbow to the outside edge of the right thigh, and breathe. If this is too much, by all means, drop the back knee. Couple rounds of breath here. Keep the spine nice and long, shoulders away from the ears. If the knee is lifted, you're going to keep the thigh strong. If the back foot is grounded, you're going to ground down through the outside edge of the left foot. Take one more round of breath. Look down, and on your inhale, back to warrior one. If the back heel is lifted, you feel free to keep it lifted. Take the inhale, and on your exhale, hands to the mat. Step back to plank. And then choice is yours if you want to flow through or just skip it and meet me in downward facing dog. Other side. So keep the right foot grounded. Inhale, lift the left heel to the sky. Keep the foot and leg strong. As you exhale, step the left foot between the hands. You're going to drop the back heel. Warrior one on this side. Keep a nice bend in the front knee. Arms up over the head. Whatever you did on the previous side, you're going to mimic it on this side. Right? So mirror, grab the hands behind the back if you did so, and breathe. That back leg is super strong. Grounded on the outside edge of the foot. Couple rounds of breath. Pull the left hip back, shift the right hip forward so that the hips are square and facing the front of the mat. And the transition's coming up, so just be aware of that. Whatever you did on the previous side, I'm going to ask you to mimic it on this side. So if you lifted the back heel, that's all good. Just come on onto the ball of the foot. If you didn't, it's all good. If you drop the back knee, do so here. Release the grip behind you if you did so. Hands to the heart. On your inhale, you're going to come forward to 45 degrees and keep the spine nice and long. On your exhale, you're going to twist the heart. Right? You're going to twist from the middle of the spine, the heart, to the left. Connect the outside edge of the right elbow to the outside edge of the left thigh. And breathe. Keep the spine long. Try not to round the spine to go further. Shoulders away from the ears. Core is active to protect the lower back. 2 more rounds of breath here. One more round of breath. Look down. Keep that back foot grounded. Inhale back to warrior one. If the back heel was lifted, it's all good. Take the inhale here. And then exhale, hands to the mat. Step back to plank. Meet me in downward facing dog, however you want to get there. Breathe here. Keep the left foot grounded. On your inhale, lift the right heel to the sky, please. On your exhale, look between the hands, step the right foot to the right thumb between the hands. Drop the back heel, turn the back toes out. You want to make sure that the right heel is in line with the left heel here. And on your inhale, just reverse cartwheel the left hand to the back of the room, right fingertips forward. Keep the bend in the right knee, core is active, and breathe. Gaze is over the right middle finger. Wrists are at shoulder height. Back leg is super grounded. Couple rounds of breath in warrior two. Keep the shoulders down. If it's kind of strange to feel like, how do I get the shoulders down? Just flip the palms to the sky. That drops the shoulders automatically. And then flip them right back over. One more round of breath. Keep the core active. You're going to flip the front palm. Take the left hand to the back thigh. Inhale, sweep the right hand like you're painting the ceiling.
Keep the bend in the front knee. Exhale here. You're going to take the inhale. On the exhale, bring the right elbow to the right thigh. So upper body comes forward. Left hand comes up toward the sky, up over the ear to a 45-degree angle. And breathe. So shoulders are back. Shoulders are down the back. Gaze is either down to the right toes or up towards the left middle finger or left thumb. And breathe. Couple rounds of breath here. On your inhale, come back up to warrior two. So shoulders up over the hips. On your exhale, cartwheel the hands to the mat. Lift the back heel and step back to plank. Meet me in downward facing dog, however you want to get there. Exhale down. Inhale back bend. Exhale downward facing dog. Inhale left heel to the sky, please. Exhale, step the left foot between the hands. Right heel is going to drop down. Right toe is going to point out 45 degrees. And on your inhale, you're going to cartwheel the left hand to the back of the room. Right fingertips towards the front of the room. Front of your room, I should say. Gaze over the left middle finger. Bend in the front knee. Back leg is super strong. And breathe. So when you're here, when you're bent in the front knee, you want to make sure that you can keep the front knee over the front ankle. If it's behind the plane of the front ankle, you have some room to bend, or feel free to crawl the toes forward. Wrists at shoulder height. Core is active. Breath is full. You're going to flip the front palm as you bring the right hand to the right thigh. Inhale, paint the ceiling with the left hand. Side stretch on the left side. On your exhale, bring the left elbow to the left thigh. Heart is facing the same direction as the pelvis, right? So you don't want to close that right shoulder down. Right arm comes up and over. Gaze is either down to the left toes or up to the right thumb. And breathe. Core is so active here, you can lift your elbow up off your thigh if you need to, right? This is a core action, but it's also a hip opener on the bottom hip. Couple rounds of breath. Shoulders down the spine. Heart is opening to the sky. Face is soft. Breath is full. Take one more round of breath. On your inhale, come back up to warrior two. On your exhale, bring the hands to the hips, straighten out the front leg, and turn the left toes into the center. So your feet should actually be pigeon-toed, if you will. I want you to crawl your feet back so that the back of the heels are in line with the back of the mat. Right, so that'll just make sure that they're straight and even. Yep. Thighs are active. Keep the weight on the outside edge of the feet. Inhale, keep the spine nice and long. Shoulders back. Keep your hands on your hips for this one. Exhale, hinge at the hips. And fold, dropping the head. Thighs are super strong. Shoulders are back. Elbows are bent toward the sky. Bring the weight into the toes. Couple rounds of breath. Keep the thighs super strong. You're going to use the breath here. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale here. Take the inhale, and on your exhale, just bring the hands to the mat, downward facing dog. If you want to take the flow, go for it. All right. One more standing pose set here. So take the inhale. On your exhale, just step the right foot to the right thumb in between the hands. Drop the back heel. But this time, when you drop the back heel, I want you to bring the left foot out towards the left edge of the mat, creating a little bit of space in the pelvis. Inhale up, all the way up, arms up over the head. Exhale, bring the hands to the heart. You're going to straighten the front leg. Take the inhale, lengthen the spine, and on the exhale, you're going to hinge at the hips and fold over that straightened front leg. Now feel free to use blocks if you need them, or fingertips to the mat, but what's more important here is that the spine is long. You're pushing into the right big toe really firmly. Couple rounds of breath. So both legs are straight, both legs are strong. Chin to the chest, but don't let the upper back round. See where you can release in the back of the right leg. Take one more round of breath. And gently bend the front knee. You're going to lift the back heel. Use the hands, bring the both hands to the inside of the right thigh, and then crawl the right foot to the outside edge of the mat. So that back knee can be lifted, or if you'd like, by all means, feel free to drop the back knee and point the back toes. And breathe here. So again, it's not about how deep you go by rounding the spine to get further. Keep the spine nice and long. It's more about keeping your heart open, almost like a proud chest, long spine, and hinge at the hips. And breathe here. Right foot is firmly still grounded. Take one more round of breath. All right. Gently bring the weight into your hands and take the right foot up off the mat. Downward facing dog as you step the right foot back. Let's do the other side. Take the inhale. As you exhale, left foot steps between the hands. Right foot is going to ground. Turn the right toes out. But make sure that you walk the right foot towards the right edge of the mat. Gently, actually, inhale, come all the way up. Arms come up over the head. So you're going to start in like a wider warrior wider warrior one. Hands to the heart. Straighten out the front leg. Take the inhale. Now make sure that that front thigh is super strong and the core is active. As you exhale, hinge at the hips, keep the spine nice and long, and fold over that leg. Again, blocks might be cool for you. You can use your fingertips, but try not to keep all the weight in the hands. You really want to put pressure in that left foot, grounded, to release the back of the left thigh. Chin to the chest to protect the back of the neck. Left hip back, right hip forward. A couple rounds of breath here. And it's okay if that left knee is bent a little bit. If you don't have the flexibility yet, that's all good. You'll get there at this point. It's more about the spine being long. And breathe. Back leg is strong. Breath is full. One more round of breath. So on your inhale, you're going to bend the left knee and bring the hands to the inside of the foot. Crawl the left foot out to the outside edge. Come onto the ball of the right foot. Generous bend in the left knee. Straighten out the spine. And again, if you need to drop the back knee, no problem, go for it. Otherwise, you want to make sure that the right hip is facing down versus out to the right. And breathe here. Shoulders down away from the ears. Take 2 more rounds of breath. Take 1 more round of breath. So plant the hands, bring the weight into the hands, sweep the left foot back, downward facing dog. All right. Look toward the hands. You're gonna bend the knees. On your exhale, just step both feet out to the outside of the hands. You should be around here, right? So from here, turn the toes out, sink into a squat. Elbows sit on the inside of the knees. Spine becomes nice and long. Hands to the heart. Breathe. Great opener for the lower back. Great strengthener for the core. Great opener for the hips as well. All right, some of us are going to stay here. Some of us are going to fly. So I'll walk you through moving into crow pose, into Bakasana, which will allow you to lift your feet up off the mat and balance on your hands. So if you feel like staying here, stay here. If you're all set with this pose and you want to fly, follow me. If you're all set with any pose, you just want child's pose, go for it. If you want to fly, you're going to plant the hands under the shoulders, nice and wide. And then, you just start playing with bring the toes together to touch underneath you. And that should lift your knees into your armpits, right? So that's what you want to get to. You really want to start to round your spine, right? Really round your spine. You might stay here, right? Play with what it's like, coming onto your tippy toes and then back onto your feet. Come onto your tippy toes and back onto your feet. You want to squeeze your knees into the back of your arms. Right? And play with as you continue to do this, right? You come onto your feet, see if you can sneak your knees into your armpits a little bit more. Eventually, you're gonna bring the weight into the hands, bend the elbows just a little bit, lift one set of toes up off the mat, round the spine a lot, gaze forward as much as you can, chin forward, keep looking forward, lift the other set of toes. Shoulder blades are spread apart. Core is active, and breathe. Grip into the mat. Whenever you're ready, come back out. Let's try it again. Okay. A couple rounds of breath. Feel free to come to rest on your knees. And I'll walk through it once more. What's really important to get into this pose is at the beginning of this practice, we were doing cat-cows, right? So cow, your spine is rounded. Cat, your spine is rounded toward the sky. You want to come into cat pose, right? Push the mat away, round the spine. The only difference here is instead of looking at the belly when you're coming into it, you want to look forward, right? That's going to keep your balance. So you come into the squat. You're going to plant the hands at shoulders width distance apart. Really important here to grip into the fingertips once you get into the pose. Big toes touch. Bring the knees into the armpits. As you bring the weight into the fingers, or into the hands, knees into the armpits or the triceps, round the spine, push the mat away, spread the shoulder blades, and then look forward and play with bringing the weight into the hands. Take 2 more rounds of breath. Take 1 more round of breath, no matter where you are. All right. From here, I'm going to have you lay on your back. Arms to a T. Knees are bent. So both feet are on the mat to begin. You're going to extend the left leg out so that the heel is on the mat. Push into the right foot to lift the hips just a little bit, swinging out onto the left hip. Bring the knee toward the chest at 90 degrees, and then swing the right knee over to the left side of the body. So the pelvis is actually facing the left side of the body, but the right shoulder is grounded. The right wrist is on the mat. Left leg is strong. Gaze to the right thumb. Full twist. Don't forget to breathe. Take 1 more round of breath. We're going to switch sides. So gently bring both feet to the mat once more with the knees bent, arms to a T. Straighten out the right leg, so the right leg is all the way out. Heel is on the mat. You're going to push into the left heel, left foot, lifting the hips just so that they can swing out, and then the pelvis can face the right side. Bring the left knee over to the right. Feel free to use the hand as guidance. Gaze to the left thumb. Left shoulders down, and breathe. Take 1 more round of breath. Inhale, come back to center. Bring the hips back to neutral or center of the mat. You're going to exhale here. Bring the knees into the chest. Give the knees a hug. All right, and then release the shins. Place the hands behind the knees. And then roll front to back, come up to a seat. All right, feet at hips width distance apart. I want you to bend the right knee out towards the right. You're going to place the right foot on the inside of the inner left thigh with the heel pushing into the inner thigh, almost to the groin. All right, you're going to keep that energy, right, of the right foot pushing into the left leg. I want you to square your shoulders off to the left foot. Keep the left foot nice and strong. Flex towards your face. Inhale, lengthen the spine, and exhale, just hinge at the hips. And bring the heart towards the toes. So both legs are active. Doesn't matter if you can touch your toes here or not. This is as much a hip opener on the right side as it is a hamstring opener and quad strengthener on the left. Ground down through the through the sit bones into the mat. Take one more round of breath here. Inhale, come all the way up. I'm going to switch sides. So extend the right leg out. I'm going to bend the left knee so that the left heel is on the inside of the thigh. You're going to ground the inside of the foot, the bottom of the foot to the inside of the thigh. Heart is twisted towards the extended foot. Take the inhale, lengthen in the spine. Keep that lengthened fold as you exhale. You might notice a difference on this side. This side might be open a little bit more, it might be tighter. That's why we practice like this, so that we can balance out both sides. So if you're trying to get your left shoulder to your right pinky toe, so that twists the heart towards that extended foot. Right thigh is strong, right foot is flexed. 2 more rounds of breath. Take 1 more round of breath here. Gently inhale, come all the way up. And then exhale, just bring the soles of the feet together and the knees nice and wide. And there's a couple of schools of thought on this pose. Today what I want you to do is grab the ankles and then use the forearms to push the thighs down, and that will lengthen the spine up. There's also the opportunity to fold forward here. If you have the mobility, go for it. One more round of breath. All right, and now my favorite pose. So extend the legs out one more time. I'm going to kind of do this at an angle so you can see what I'm doing versus just sideways or facing you. So you're going to take your right leg, you're going to bend the knee, you're going to bring it out, and you're going to bring the right heel under the left thigh, so that if you're looking down, the right heel is on the outside edge of the left hip. Okay? Take the left foot, bend it, bring it to the outside. No, don't bend the foot, bend the left knee. But you're going to bring the left foot to the outside of the right thigh. Okay? So if I was to do that again, right, you'd bend the right knee, bring it under the left hamstring so that it's the right heel is resting on the outside edge of the left hip. Then you're going to lift the left foot, bring it to the outside of the right quad. Okay? Now in these twists, you always twist toward the lifted knee. Take the left hand behind the back to lift the spine. You take the right hand either around the front and twist. And if you want to do that, grip the hands and pull in. This you'll feel on the outside edge of the left hip. Shoulders down the back, twist toward the left, gaze over the left shoulder. Or if you have the mobility, pull the core in and up. Place the left hand behind the back on the mat, and then use the outside edge of the left elbow to the outside edge, the outside edge of the right elbow to the outside edge of the left thigh. Make sure that both sit bones are grounded. One more round of breath here. And gently release. We're going to switch sides. Straighten out both legs. Give them a shake. Kind of a pretzel-y kind of pose there. Let's do the other side. So both knees are just both knees are bent gently. You're going to take the left knee, bend it out, and bring the left heel to the outside of the right hip. You can use your hands for support here if you need to, because sometimes it might be tough to keep the sit bones grounded. So you can adjust as you go. You're going to lift the right foot up off the mat, bring it to the outside edge of the left thigh. Right hand on the mat behind your back. twist toward the right, either gripping the right knee, clasping and pulling in, straightening the spine, breathing here. That might be good enough. You should feel a nice stretch in the outside edge of the right hip. Gaze over the right shoulder. Or if you'd like to fully complete the twist, again, I like to place my hand on the mat behind my lower back to urge the lengthening of the spine so I'm not rounding to get further. Right? Keep the spine nice and long. Take the arm to the outside edge of the left knee. Gaze over the right shoulder and twist. Take one more round of breath. Gently release. You're going to come to lay on your back. Before you lay down all the way, make sure that the ankles are at the outside corners of the mat. And then come to lay down flat. Arms nice and wide. Spread the shoulder blades apart versus pinching them together. Palms face up. Close the eyes. Take an inhale through the nose, fill up the lungs. Hold the breath in. And then exhale, let it go through the mouth or the nose, your choice. I want you to still continue with a full inhale and exhale through the nose. Awareness on your breath. I just want you to feel the body releasing from the bones, right? Feel the muscles releasing from the bones and relaxing from the feet through the ankles. Relax the shins and the calves, the thighs and the hamstrings. Let the hips become heavy, sink down into the mat. Notice the lower back. Just let it get heavy. All the muscles of the back, the shoulders, the arms, the wrists, the hands. Everything gets really heavy. Scan it and feel it happening. The core, the chest, the neck, the throat, the jaw. Release your face, let everything get heavy. The tongue releases from the roof of the mouth. Ears, scalp. Just 2 minutes of conscious breathing with your thoughts focused on your breath. Wiggle the fingers and toes, the wrists and ankles. Begin to wake up the thighs, the hips, shoulders. Inhale, bring the arms up over the head. And as you exhale, roll to the right, keeping the eyes closed. The right arm acting as a pillow for the head. Just take this moment to check in once more with the body and the mind. You're going to continue rolling forward, coming up to a sitting position, eyes closed. Crown of the head comes up last, across the legs. Spine is long. Bring the hands to the heart. Namaste.